guys for being on our team call. I am super excited to talk to you today about recruiting business builders. Um, Show of hands, who is comfortable sharing the business every day to somebody every day? There were no hands. For those that cannot see all the faces, there were no hands. Um, so So let's dig into it. Let's make it so that you are excited to share the business. Let's make it so that it is fun and not scary. Um, did each of you happen to see the post that I made that had the printouts, the 4 pages of printouts that you may or may not have done in advance? Okay, go back. The entire workbook is not done, but enough for you to do activities um, over the next couple of days or share with any of your people is done. So here's the thing. Here's why this training is so fantastic right now, because all of you have committed to earning Icon Club. And one of the pieces to earning Icon Club is helping 2 people go senior silver. And it will be great for you to have 2 people that have never hit senior, because they don't have to be new joins. Of course, they can be people who have been on your team who have not hit senior silver before. So you can work with those people, but also, of course, you're going to be trying to add new people to work the business to get that. And probably you want at least 6 people to say yes to working the business and going for senior silver, because all of you know that people will say yes and then give up or not make it. Like, we think 10 would be so easy to get, but everybody that might get excited and quit. So trying to have at least 6 people say yes to going senior silver and adding 10 people is going to be your goal. And here's the thing. You can't just talk to them about the products right now and expect by August them to be excited about the business and adding 10 people. That means you need to be having the conversations with them right now about the business. And the thing is, when you are starting with the business, you can share with them, listen, the products are a no-brainer. Everybody loves the products. I would not be doing this 7 years, 8 years, 10 years later if the products weren't amazing. I would not be doing so well in the business if the products weren't amazing. Like, yeah, I'm going to teach you what you need to know about the products, but what you really need to know is this business opportunity is amazing. Of course, the products are good. Duh. Like, go into it with the confidence and knowing, of course, the products work. Of course, people that they share the products with are going to love them. Of course, even though they've never tried the products, they're going to love them. Right? And so it's getting excited about the business. And we touched on this a little bit last week, but it's hard for you to share honestly, excitedly about the business if you aren't really excited about it right now. And so the activities that I want you guys to work on, that's what we're going to be doing. Again, we're going to be building that excitement again. We're also going to work on creating your ideal person that you want to work the business with. Because you know what you're going to start doing? Actively posting and marketing to that person. And ChatGPT is going to help you. But if it is, some people, listen, my oldest and his wife are so anti-ChatGPT. And they always send me these articles about how ChatGPT is ruining my brain. And I'm like, look, I'm 52 in a month. Whatever is ruined is ruined. Like, listen, I need all the help I can get. When you hit perimenopause, if you still don't want ChatGPT, it goes to you. But I am going to use ChatGPT. Like, I'll use my brain for other things. Okay, so you will see it in the workbook. But what you're going to write out is your definition of a strong recruiter and what some of their qualities are. Does anybody want to share? I would love for somebody to unmute and share what they think a strong recruiter looks like, what some of those qualities would look like. Anybody want to share, Lori?
I think a strong recruiter is somebody that problem solves themselves. That thinks through outside the box and thinks, okay, how can I make this better and stuff, instead of just always wanting the answer.
I love that. And I bet that was not going to be your answer 8 years ago. You know how that's a great answer today because you are much smarter now about who you want working the business with you. And you don't want somebody on your team that's going to not only message you 10 times a day with questions that they could have found the answer to, but also second guesses your answer. We've all had those people too, like you answer them and then they go ask the same question somewhere else because they didn't like your answer. We've all had those people, right? So I love that. Problem solves for themselves. What else?
One thing I've learned, and I feel like that a lot of the trainers, you included Christy, is I think a good recruiter is a good listener. They are one that's going to listen and let whoever they're talking to about the business kind of explain what they're looking for. And then I feel like a lot of times they can talk themselves into doing it. If you can just listen and then, I guess, offer advice and suggestions when pertinent. But
You know what? I did not have that written down, and that is totally the nurse in you. Probably having to ask questions and be a good listener to troubleshoot what in the world is wrong with people when they don't have a clue.
mm-hmm.
I love that. Any other thoughts?
Somebody who is confident
Yes.
and coachable. And like Crystalline said, a good learner, but also a good listener, but also a good learner. Someone who's willing to learn stuff. Because we have to learn stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also self-motivated kind of goes along with problem solvers, but self-motivated, that they're just going to get stuff done each day that you have coached them to do. Right? Anybody want to add some other things?
I think being organized and being able to organize not just your thoughts, but also the tracking and knowing who you've talked to, who you haven't talked to. I think that's really important, and a skill set that definitely is, because usually someone who's organized is very mindful and they're very conscientious and they want to make sure they have all those things. And I think those are all good traits.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. I'm looking at my workbook. Question 3 did not show up on there, so I'll get that fixed. Let's talk about question 5, which is, what are you believing about yourself that's holding you back from recruiting?
I'll go out there on that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
For me, it's thinking I'm not good with numbers, that I'm not good with systems. That is definitely the shortcoming. I'm great with product knowledge. I'm great with understanding how to relate to people, but when it comes to the selling of the business, it's the numbers that intimidate me.
So here's something awesome. Do you remember the compensation plan training that Marianne Anderson did at convention?
Mm-hmm.
She has re-recorded that in good quality, and now we have it so that we can share through YouTube.
Oh, I can do that all day.
Yep. And that way you don't have to know. You can share it because she did it so well.
I know the compensation plan. It's just when it comes down to, well, you can earn this much money. I'm like, I don't know. I just do it. Not in it for the money. There's a bad part.
Well, you know what? And we're going to get to the 3 pillars, but that's okay because you have people around you that can help people back into their goals and back into and we'll get into the 3 pillars, but if money is something that is really important to a new business builder, and we'll talk about knowing how to know But if it is, then you just find out what their number is and say, okay, I have a friend that's great with numbers. I'm going to share this with her and she's going to get back to me and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do numbers wise to hit your financial goal. And then just call me, or I don't know if Lori's great with numbers, whoever. Like, I love backing into numbers and goals. It's like my favorite thing to do.
You're
So
awesome.
you don't have to be great at that. So just know that you have friends that like that. Right? So, anybody else want to share something that's maybe holding them back from recruiting? Okay. Oh, Deanna?
I was just gonna say, I mean, holding me back from recruiting, I can be a nice friend, I can be friendly to people, I can't, but can I lead them? Can I be a good example to them? Do I have the tools? And I don't feel like I have ever really had tools that I felt confident or comfortable in leading someone along, saying, okay, here, I'll hold your hand for a little bit, do this. And so I think being a leader is holding me back because I feel the responsibility of taking care of them.
Yeah. And I think, I can't remember if I shared this on the last call, but if I didn't, or people are watching this, then there are three main reasons that people are uncomfortable sharing the business. And one is they're scared of rejection. Two is they're scared somebody's going to say, yes, tell me more. And they don't have a clue what they're going to tell them. And number three is, yes, I'm all in, let's do it. And they don't know what to do with them. So part of what we will be training on next week is the system that you will have for your brand new business builders. So this is more for the people that have been around, that have done Plexus for a while, need their passion reignited, and need to start sharing the business. Next week, we're going to cover a very simple system that we can do on a one-pager that will help you it's going to be your system of how you're going to share the business with them once they say yes. Okay, we may get to some of it today, but we may not. That may be next week, but it's going to be so simple. And then it's a system. And you know what systems are? Duplicatable. Right? And when you do it over and over and over again and you train your people, that's the way you do it over and over again. Oftentimes, we all know what is not duplicatable is our personality, how we do things. We can't just say, well, just do it like I did. They can't. They can't. Nobody can do it just like Lori. Nobody can do it just like Angie. I've known Deanna almost as many years, half of her life. I can't do it like her. I am just not naturally like her, personality wise. I could fake it kind of for a minute, but okay, so it'll be a system and your personality will play into it because of how you talk and how you speak. But what you're sharing and implementing will be duplicatable and the same. So something I think, I mentioned this last week, but part of this homework is to write down your total income earned through your history of Plexus. On our back office, I know, Judy, you're already like, numbers? I just said no numbers. I just said no numbers. Okay, so our back office only goes back through, I just tried to pull mine, March of 2024. But here's the steps to get that much, because of course we don't have a 1099 yet for, or we do, but anyway, if you want to find out even close for right now, you click on My Business over on your dashboard, then you click on Commission Summary. Leave the period is already auto-selected to all, and then you can export it to Excel. And here's the great thing. I'm going to show you this, Judy, because you're going to export it to Excel. It looks like this. It's got all the things. This is if you, oh, wait, I should share my screen. That would help. That would help. Y'all don't be judging my low income. Okay, can you see my screen? No? Judy says no. Yes. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like when you export it to Excel. If you will just click on D, which is your net total of how much you've gotten paid, just click on D, highlight the whole thing, and then click auto sum. This is the simplest Excel trick ever. Just click on the column you want, click on auto sum, scroll down, and then there's your total from, there's how much I've made since March of 2024. If I'm being honest, I'm going to have to probably go back to my emails. I could probably ask my coach to pull all of my commission, but what I'm probably going to do is just go back from my emails, and I bet all of my 1099s, you know how they send them, what, Deanna?
So yeah, you can get the access to your 1099, but also if you go into the plexuspay.com, plexus-pay.com, like you're accessing your wallet,
Yeah.
underneath account details at the bottom, it gives you a commission report, payout to date, and it has 23, 24, and 25. Summed up.
Okay. Okay, so it goes all the way back to 23. So that's
Mhm.
more.
Yeah.
And then maybe
Yeah.
just look for your 1099 emails.
So
Yeah.
you want 11 years worth of records?
Mhm.
The
You know
IRS only
why?
goes back 7, girl.
Do you know why? Because you're going to be blown away by how much money you've made. Right now, you're stuck in, I'm making less than I used to. So who am I to share the business? But when you look at how much you have earned in 11 years, considering where you were in your health duty when you started, and I'm not sure if when you started sharing Plexus, you thought you would ever have a job again and contribute financially. I didn't.
Nope.
I was told I would never work again.
Yep.
Right? So that's a story to stand on. Like, I was told I would never work again. And you can't post publicly how much you have made, but you can tell people to message you and you will tell them. You can send it privately. Also, what we're doing right now, really the main focus is building belief again.
Yeah.
And your excitement about sharing the business. Because we're all a little scorned. We're all a little mad at the people that left. We're all a little salty. We're a little scared about adding a whole new team that might possibly leave us again. But we're getting excited again. So your total income earned, list every trip. We might make this an activity for all of us to work together, because I've been trying to come up with every single leaders retreat trip, and I'm like, oh, dang it. So we might have to work together to make sure we have all of them that we've earned. Every incentive. Here's one that you've probably never thought about how valuable it is. How much free product you have earned since the perks points started. Because I bet it's thousands of dollars in product that you have earned. Okay, that's a big deal. Not every company gives people all kinds of stuff in free product. Make notes of your personal growth, and then write out here on your page how the opportunity has impacted your family. Because it has. I was talking to Crystalline last week, and because she did this business, her husband was able to leave a job. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing. I think everybody knows this, but was able to leave his job that he didn't enjoy and start his own taxidermy business, which now is so busy, he books however many months out. I don't know how many dead animals they have in their space,
2
but
years.
I
2
How
years
about-
out.
2 years out,
Yeah, 2 years out.
you guys. That's bananas, right? And he was able to do that because of her. She's an RN and she was still working, but she was able to bring in enough extra from her Plexus business for him to do his dream job. Okay, that's huge. So that would be how it had impacted her family. For me, it's the trips. I think some of the Plexus trips have helped my marriage. We've needed to get away. We've needed to go away by ourselves. And with 4 kids, especially when they were younger, we were not going anywhere. We were going nowhere. In fact, we were meeting with, we had dinner with some friends on Thursday night that we knew from Knoxville. And they said, have you guys gone on any trips lately? And Rob literally was like, only Plexus trips. Because that's what we've been able to afford during this period in our life, Plexus trips. And where would we have traveled if not for that? Who knows? So think of those things when you're thinking about your business. The next thing in the homework is you are going to write down, and I'm going to let you guys share to help each other out because this could be a long process. You might get stuck out, but 20 things I love about the Plexus business. And I think I touched on this last week, but it really is crucial to you being reignited and excited about sharing this business opportunity. Does anybody want to share? You did that already, Judy. Do you want to share some of the reasons you love the Plexus business? Do you have it handy?
I do. Let me flip back. Yes, I even started the spreadsheet.
I love it.
I told my husband, I'm like, I deserve a pat on the back. This is big. This is big. Okay. So, these are in no particular order because it was just a brainstorming event. And when it's brainstorming, it's just plop, 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 plop.
Yep.
So one of the things that I wrote down was flexibility, which is key for me in my health and my obligations. That is the first thing that came to mind, and I honestly think that's one of the top priorities, is because I can fit it in between all the things. Some of the other ones that came up were Plexus leadership. I absolutely adore the Plexus leadership and the dependability of them, and it makes me very confident to share this company because I know that they stand behind it. Another one was the energy of momentum. I loved that because it's one of those things where when everybody is just jiving and we're all excited for everybody and I get to cheer everybody on, I just love it. Doesn't matter how well I'm doing, I love it when everybody's running.
Yes.
That one just brings joy to my heart. And then one that was probably not your typical one was it's a creative outlet for me with the writing and the conversing with people. It's very creative to me to think about how I want to approach something, and I like that side. So there's just a few off the wall ones that aren't your typical. I like the money because I do. The residual income is awesome.
Yes. I love that. Anybody else want to share some? You know, one thing to think about, especially if somebody you're talking to is familiar with MLMs, something that's really great about the Plexus business, it's a really low risk reward. You know, most companies, they cost, in the thousands range to become a partner. You know, you got to get this whole kit with all the things, and you can become a Plexus brand partner when you buy your $130 kit and have a friend join you, right? So low risk, high reward is something you may or may not have thought of. It attracts the best kind of people. Like, have you not loved some of the people that you've met through this business? So inspiring. So, you guys, like, just all of us, when we go to convention, it's like, oh, the energy in the room of the caliber of people that are a part of this. Really, I can't get enough of. One of the things I wrote is it gave me a purpose in a hard season. I actually, let's see. No limits on income. Of course, you said residual income. I love that it's a job where I never miss the big moments. Wherever I need to be, whether it's for parents or kids or me, I don't miss a single thing. I don't miss anything. Our company is rooted in integrity. And I do think that it's made me a better mom and friend. I think this business, working this business has made me a better human. Deanna is kind enough to remind me, she's like, you're so much better. Or something will happen when I, in the past, would have handled it a certain way and my mouth would have opened when it shouldn't have, or my face would have done something it shouldn't have. And it doesn't near as often anymore. Listen, it still does, but it doesn't near as often. And we'll walk away and she'll go, you did so good. Because she's known me the longest. And she's so sweet with compliments. She'll be like, you did so good there. Because she knows
I know
what
what
I
you
was like.
wanted to say in the past, and I know
Yeah.
that you have worked really hard on, and that's part of that personal development is like just listening and not always responding. Just, yes. Okay.
Yes. It doesn't mean that I don't have tough things to say, but I think I've even gotten better about asking permission before I say hard things now. I don't know, but it's made, can anybody say they've become worse of a person since doing the Plexus business?
No.
Does anybody feel worse? Is anybody meaner? I mean,
Nope. That's all menopause.
that's all. Yes. But imagine if we didn't have it. Right? So
No,
the purpose of the 20 things I love about Plexus business is to truly re-energize you. Your list should give you chills. It should have you so excited about what we have the ability to share with people that you can't shut up. Okay? Like, just don't. Right now, Judy said her list excited her. My list excited me. You know, I am intentionally I'm intentionally messaging 5 people a day about the business. Make it, listen, a week and a half ago, before Melissa did this training with us, it made me want to vomit. Now I'm super excited. Will most of them ghost me? Yes. But if they reply and say they're not interested, do you know what I'm going to fall back on? Then we're going to talk about the products. I already had that happen last week. She's a brand new nurse, just finished her degree, just started working. Don't know if this is the right time or not. She said it not the right time. She's still trying to figure out her job and stuff. And I was like, well, can I share more about the products with you? You know, because they're amazing. And she was like, I shared just a couple things. And she was like, yes, I've had tummy trouble and skin issues for as long as I can remember. So it wasn't the end conversation. When you start with the products and they say no, you can't turn around and go, well, let me tell you about the business opportunity. No, you can't. And if your goal is Icon Club, you know, share about the business, knowing that the products are amazing, knowing you don't need to pitch the products, fall back on the products. Everybody loves the products, right? So what I really want you guys to do is start to work on who you want to recruit. So here's a couple notes. You're going to identify who you want to recruit. These are going to help you with your chat GPT, who you want to recruit. And this is back to that first page where your recruiting assessment. Your who is going to have those qualities. So you're going to be able to share those things in chat GPT. This all works together. So identify who. You're going to identify their problem. Then you're going to figure out what's the deeper problem. This will all come together in a minute. What's the internal impact? State the change for them and define the impact of the change. Did everybody get that? I can copy and paste it, I think, if I need to. So to skim over it again to make sure you got it, identify who, identify their problem. What's the deeper problem? What's the internal impact? State the change for them and define the impact of change. So the purpose of that, what you're doing is, you are, sorry, I'm trying to find the notes so I can share the next section. You're going to put all of that into Chat GPT to uncover, who your person is. And it's going to give you some really awesome tips. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you a prompt that you can, but you take this, but add in whatever, whatever the qualities of a strong recruiter that you came up with. Because this one is mine. You can use mine, but if you have different ones, use yours.
You want me to read it to you? What you read, what you did?
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, sweet. How come I can't see the chat?
Can you see it? That way everybody can copy it.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
already
see it?
have it
You already have.
from the Being in Gold Diggers, right?
Yep. And so what is really fabulous when you do something like this is because it starts to help you identify who the person is that you want to work with. And then what you can do next is dropping something else in the chat. This is how I responded to ChatGPT. Once it told me, once it laid out for me all the different information I asked it for, I asked it to help me create a post for Facebook about the kind of women that I would love to partner with and why they might love this opportunity. And it gave me like 6 different post options. So periodically over the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks probably, I will use different posts that it has suggested for me. I'll customize them and whatnot, but it gives me something to work with that is truly talking to the person that I want to attract. It's going to tell me, you know, just kind of, it's going to talk about issues that they might be having. You know, for me, it's Gen X women who are probably becoming, or if they're not already, empty nesters who are starting to, you know, my people are starting to be like, who am I now? I'm not a mom we're moms, right? We're always moms. But when you are not driving kids to practice, doing 50 loads of laundry, cooking dinner for 5 people, and running things to the school that your kid forgot, your life looks different. You know, your worth comes from something different. And many women don't know what that is anymore. That's a thing that we can help them with, right? How much worth have you gained from helping people feel better through this business? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Does anybody have any questions about this? How to start posting? And you can also ask ChatGPT to help you create a message to send to people about the business. That kind of covers these qualities that you're going to be reaching out to the people you know because they have some of these qualities. So you're going to share with them that they have these qualities and why you think they would be great for this business. Do you guys have questions, thoughts? Do you feel a little more excited about sharing the business or more overwhelmed? Let's tackle any.
I'm going to say thank you.
No, we're writing. We're
You're
working.
right. And Judy said thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
I want to say thank you because you actually, I have been starting to message today, and I started with the products, and you have reinforced the switch to the business and remember who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And
Remember who you're talking to. And here is the thing. Think about what your main goal is right now. And if it is to recruit business builders, let's call that your North Star. And so every day when you start to do something, ask yourself, is this focused and going to get me closer to my North Star? And if it's not, don't do it. You know, like, yeah, live your life. But when it comes to your activity, is this going to move me closer to my North Star? And if so, then do it. But like you said, here's also what I wanted to share with that, Judy, is this is a shift. This is a shift for many of you. You are very comfortable sharing the product. This is a shift, and it might be messy for a minute, but you have to, if what's happening in your business right now is not doing for you what you would like it to do, then you've got to make a shift. And this is a really good shift to make, and do it messy. And do it without the emotional of, what are they going to think of me? They're not going to think I think that people would be more flattered for me to share the business with them than the products, because I'm speaking highly of them. Instead of being like, you need this, bet you're not pooping well, you need this. Hey, I saw you don't have any energy, you need this. You're like, I think you're amazing, and I would like to do this with you. That is a different energy, in my opinion. So
something that I wanted to put out there when you said that, that you started with a business and then you switched to products when they said no thank you. Jessica Heffley, it was a couple of days ago, posted a picture with her friend that she has been sharing and taking the products for 11 years, longer than I've even, and this person has never done the business. How can you be Jessica Heffley's customer and not see that she's like, so at 7 or 8 diamond star and not want to jump all in? It's because this person liked the products, but they didn't. So yes, always just don't give up on people.
And also, Melissa shared this on our training today, and she shared that one of her husband's cousin has had a front row seat to Melissa's success in this business. And she said, I have talked to her about this business a million times, and she has never wanted anything to do with it. She said, but yesterday she sent me a message and was like, hey, my friend's daughter is graduating from A&M, and her degree is in some kind of fitness something, and she's going to be doing this kind of training, and I think she'd be amazing in your Plexus business. Can I connect you? So she's like, I've been talking to her about the business forever. She's never wanted it, but she's had 2 this week, literally 2 people this week out of the blue that she has shared the business with that have never wanted to do it, that have referred other people to her to do the business. So they're listening, and they might know somebody else who would be good at it, right? So know that, because we've always said that with the product. Well, who do you know that might have, want more energy or want to feel better, right? Like, you might not have time to do this business right now, you think. And here's the other thing. I will be dropping in Gold Diggers the top 6 objections that you might get from people about why they don't want to do it. And I will put the graphic up that says the objection, and then I will put ways to overcome the objection in the caption. Okay? Because like Phil M. Jones says, about being prepared, the worst time to think about how you're going to respond is in the moment. And there's just not that many objections to why somebody doesn't want to work the business, if you think about it. We did a whole activity on the team call today, or on the training call today, and I think we literally, with 40 of us on the call, only came up with 7 different objections. We all just kept coming up with the same things. So if you are prepared with those, guess what? Now also with your system, you're not afraid for the objection. You already are prepared for it. And when you're training somebody else to share the business, guess what? You can have I can turn it into a one page where it's like, listen, these are the objections you're probably gonna get. Here's how you're gonna tackle them. Because when you know what to say and how to be prepared, you're not afraid anymore. You're not gonna get caught on the blind side. You're ready, right? Like when somebody messages you and they're having detox on triplex, does that scare you? Or have you tackled it 400 million times? You're expecting it and you know what to say and you know how to help them. I'm going to help you do the same thing for objections for sharing the business. Are you excited? Yeah. Okay. So next week, we will do more of a training that will be, super helpful for newbies who are looking for their plus ones. And so next week, what I want to do is a training for, that will be for new people, training them, because for this, I really am talking to you and anybody that watches this recording as kind of veteran Plexus brand partners. You've been in it, time to reignite, time to get excited again. Light your fire. Let's do this. So next week, we will have a training for all the brand new people who are going to be sharing the business, because that's what you're training them to do, how they can do it, how they can be prepared for it, how they can tackle objections, and what the simple system is so that it's not overwhelming. Good? Anybody have questions before I stop the recording? And then I'll stop, and if you have anything else, we can chat about it.